I'm going to read The Adventure of Huck the King, chapter 23. Well, the hymns and the king are village, reading Australian cartoon are all candles for food lights, and that night the house was jammed full of mankind. And the place couldn't hold no more, so the Duke, it quit tending door and went around the back way and come on to the stage and stood up before the curtain and made a little speech and praised of this tragedy and said it was the most thrillingest one that ever was. So he went on bragging about tragedy and about Adam Cain and other. But was to play the main principal part in it, and I lost to everybody's expectation of violence. The lower of the curtain, and the next minute the king prancing out on all fours to me. And he was paint all over, lynch-street and then strip all sorts of color, as splendid as a rainbow. And never mind the rest of his outfits was just wild. It was awful funny, and the people most killed themselves laughing. And when the king got a drum and kept pouring, and kept poured up behind the scenes, they lowered and then crept and stormed and all of the kids back and gone it over again, and that they made him do it another time. So well, it didn't make crowds laugh to see the shines and all the idiot crowds. Then the Duke let the curtain down, the bows to the people, and said the great tragedy to this performed when it noise no more on account of the pressing on the engagement, but the seat is also that poets poets in jewelry thing. And he makes them out of bow, and says if he has succeeded in pleasing them, instructing them, he will decrease the obelisk. They will mention it to their friends. They don't come and see. 20 people think out, what is it over? Is that all? The Duke said, yes. And then there were the fine times. Everybody thinks out. So, the loads of men was going for the stage, and presidents and very big, fine-looking men jumped up on the bench and shouts. How long? Just over, and gentlemen, they stopped to listen, so that's all. My battle is sold, but we don't want to be the laughing stock of this whole town. I like them never hear the last of this thing as long as it be. That's what we want is to go out of here quiet and then don't show off. So the rest of the town and will be in the same boat, and so there it is. The judge is right. Everybody thinks I'm right. Now word about any sales that go wrong homes, and advise everybody to come and see the tragedy. Next day, you couldn't hear nothing wrong. That found out house brand, that show was. House was jamming. Then again that night, and there was all this crowd. The same way to when and seeing and keeps for harm to left that we all had a supper. And likewise, about midnight, they made a drink and back her out and approach down the middle of the river and fetch her in and hire her about 2 miles below town. That night, the house was crammed again, and I warned you how much this time, but people that were at the show, the others to know it. I stood by the Duke at the doors, and I see that every man that went in had his pocket bulging or something muffled under his coat, and I see that one of many lighters not well alongside. I smelled sickly eggs by the bower and the lotions and cabbages and such things. And if I know the signs of the dead cat in one, and I bet I do, there was 64 of them. I shoved in just for a minute, but it was too gross for me. I couldn't stand it. Well, when the place couldn't hold no more to the truth. The U.S. fellows apart told him at $10 for him a minute. And he started around to the stage door. I after him The bottom next was turned, the camera was in the dark. He says, "Fuck first." Now that kid, you get away from the house. Then he had put left, like his digging was after you. Around it, you don't understand. We struck left at the same time, and in less than 2 seconds we were driving down streams of darkened streets and hitching for the middle of the river. Nobody saying a word. I like on the poor king was in for a goldie time story. But the audience took nothing of the sort, and pretty soon closed out this perform under the wigwam and said, "Well, the old thing is found now this time since you haven't been out of town at all." Whenever we showed our light cheers was about 10 miles below the village, then we lit up and had supper. And the king, and then the sparrows left, they're going to lose out of the way, and they saw them people's success. You know, perhaps I need the first house or to keep them on and let the rest of the town get locked in. And immediately late first, the third night, and the concert was there. And now, where is their son? And I have something to know. How much days will take place? I would just like to know how they're freeing their opportunity. They can find into a picnic. If they want, they brought the country provisions. Then left scallions, chicken for $165, and that was 3 nights. And I was in money's hole in the wagon load like the people. Bye bye. Generally they was asleep and the sun rings that. I want to fry you. Do I chicken carry up? No, I said them. Oh, we don't eat hog. Well, I don't. Go this in the breed, and I like I'm still alright. Yeah. That you know, his liquor left Calvin. It's what days, huh? It was like Calvin. Well, that's the what I'm saying. It's all changing. Mostly left for him as far as I can make out. Yes, so. What about the months you see? We have me the 8th and Sunday as Christopher 10 and 20. And Louis Charles second, and Louis the 14 and Louis 15 and James second, Edward was the second, and Richard was third, and one more. Besides all them section half towers, I used a lip around so in all times the latest train. My old scene, old penny age. My wedding groom said she was a Lucy. I used to marry and wipe every day and chop off her head. Next morning, and he would do it just as indifferent as if he was ordering hot eggs. Which up to Nigerian. But I had that which her Mr. Morning's chop up her hair and they chop up and fetch up to change her. I said stop and she comes next morning to chop up her head. And they chop her up. Bring up to Paris Lawson. Phil Lawson said her next morning I chop up her head. And maybe every one of them tell him okay every night. He kept that up to he had 1,001 tapes that way, and he put them all in a book and called it Domesday Book, which was a good name, and say the case even a king's then this old lip of is one of the cleanest staff struggling in Missouri, and he takes promotion. He wanted to have some trouble with his country. How does he go at it? Tomatoes, give the country a show. Now all of a sudden he hold the tea in Boston, however, although then the wax out declarations of independence. There that's that was it. He never gave anybody a chance. He had suspicions of his father. As he got to Wellington, what did he do? Ask him to show up? No, drown him. I thought of membership like cat. Spouse who left this morning still laying around just where he was. What did he do? He covered it. Suppose he contractors to sing. I need to pay him, and didn't set out, and they will see that he done it. What did he do? And he always downs the other things, suppose. He opened his mouth with that. If he didn't shut it up, the powerful kick, he'd lose the lies every time. That's kind of the bug, and it was, and he would have him, so set out our kings if it is fool the town, he works, and all of them. I don't say all these the lumps, because they end when you come, but down to cold pack. But they ain't nothing to that old man. And I know what I say, kings is kings, and you got to make allowance. Take them all around. In almighty stone life, the way they are raised. But this one just now, so like the nation, what they do, Jim, we can have the way the king's mass. They sure don't tell them ways. Now they do. It's total like man in some ways. Yes, a huge difference, but not very different. It's once meter is hot, lots of for do when it's drunk at the end of next argument the could tell him for him. And anyways, I don't hang us one on step out. This is always clean, fun. But the way we choose him, and we go them our hand, and we would remember what they ask to make allowance. Sometimes I wish it we could hear of a country that's out of kings, and what was the use to tell kings little of the real kings and Jews. Once the Johnson or Goose and beside it, or just as I said, you can tell them stuff from their kind. I went to sleep and the gym didn't call for me, and it was my turn to be up and done that. When I waked up, just at daybreak there was a sting, there was a head down between his knees, morning and to himself. I take notice no let on. And now the worst about he was thinking about his wife and his children away to be under. It was low and homesick because he never ever been away from home before in his life. I do believe and care just as people said white folks. That's good name. And I'm seeing the truth. Well, I kind of stole him. It was open morning, that very nice. So when he journeyed, I was asleep. Then it's for little Elizabeth and for little Johnny, it's my target. I expect ain't ever going to see you. No. That wasn't my good news, Jim was. But this time I somehow got talking to him about his wife and young ones and by his head. What makes him feel so bad? His time so back as he is often so young on the bank like the wreck slams like oh, and mine with my little service hold only is about a year old. Chuck, it was fever and the pump still up and spread to go to hell. And one day she was starting on this. I said, sure, I said, shut through. I never done it, just threw it. He smiled up at me and made me mad. Say it again. I might aloud, I said, John, you hear me? But do I just do the same way? And he still smiling after I was doing a face. I make mine. The fetch website they have the front scrolling. And then I went into the yonder room, and it was just about 10 minutes. And when I was come back because that the Jew was standing up in it, and there was the true was standing most light in it, looking down and moaning, and the chairs lying down. My brother, I was mad. I was in the photo chair, and the street was open. It's the long come divine and slammed it in behind the chair is down. Just never moved my back, and was hopped out to me, and I feel so noticed how I feel. I crop out all the trembling, stubborn cough and help into each lowest and pokes my head in behind the chills of it is. So now I said, oh, that allowed there, so I could tell she never spoiled her. So I was just crying to grab her up in my arms, said, it is for light, and all the lights got on my story. Poor young, that he never seems to go deep himself as long as he lived. So he was at home, deep and dumb. Bring deep and dumb I'd have been silent. Also, don't.